Well, tough opponent, very good opponent, very talented opponent in Maryland. Young and talented, obviously Melo Trimble. Um, one of the better guards in our conference, if not the country. Poised, makes big plays. Couple him in with big like Dodd or getting healthy with the big kid off the bench. I think they're as good as any team in the league. Obviously, they're in first place for a reason, sitting at 18-2. So a terrific test, but excited to be back in the barn. Hopefully, be another crowd. So looking forward to it.
What do you notice from Maryland? Last year they were just loaded, and a lot of people expect them to, win a national title or compete for a national title. What's the difference this year with them?
Well, they're still loaded. They're just young and loaded. They were old last year. And you never know when you get into an NCAA tournament setting what might happen. So I think they went to a Sweet 16 last year. So that's obviously something to be proud of. So they're well coached, they're talented, and they're going to be a good team for a long time. So I'm sure Coach Turgeon's excited about it.
What do you remember about the Maryland win last year? I mean, I get it. Completely new team for you, completely new team for them, but that was obviously a very memorable win over the same school.
I don't remember much about last year. I try to block that out. I don't know. I mean, you felt good for a second, and then you sat there and go, "Oh God, we're 1-12." So I didn't feel as good as everybody thinks I felt. It was a good win. I'm happy we broke through for our players, for our fans, but that was obviously a tough year. So that's not one I draw back on and say, that's not one for the memory books for me.
But at the time, you talked about that particular game, showed the potential of some of the young guys who.
I can't hear you. You have your
returning players are coming back on that. They played. Maybe this is something that you can look forward to in the future. Of this, some of these guys, the way they played in that game.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the game. I don't watch last year's games. There's no point. So yeah, I mean, I remember Dupree made a big play. I think Nate made some big free throws. I thought we played good team defense. But it's impossible to draw anything from last year's games.
When you look at the way that you guys have played during this losing streak, other than the Michigan State game, you had chances to win at the end of every one. Is there a theme that you see other than obviously you lost, but is there a theme that you say, hey, this is something that we?
Every game, in my opinion, is completely different. There's no, you talk execution because we've had close games. The only game that I was upset about the execution was at Penn State at the end of it. We didn't block out twice. Nate had an opportunity to drive the ball to the basket. He didn't do it. I know he was trying to do, but I didn't like it. But other than that, Wisconsin, we executed. At Ohio State, we executed at the end. So, I mean, we've lost, 4 in a row? 3 of the 4 have been on the road, and the other one was to one of the best teams in the league. So, no, I don't see a trend other than I think we're playing pretty good basketball.
Still only January, and 3 of the 4 losses were on the road. But do you feel like the sense of urgency is raised a little bit? You don't think so?
No.
Because it's early?
Because it's early.
I mean, when you say execution, 7 missed layups, was it on Wednesday night? I mean, those deals were
7 missed layups?
Yeah, was it 7, I think?
I don't. I have no idea. Did you chart that?
I don't know, I saw it somewhere.
Twitter had to be true.
It's a number, and from your standpoint, is it where?
Well, I'm trying to think back. Yeah, I'm trying to think back. I mean, Reggie missed a couple. I don't know. I don't remember 7 missed layups. Yeah, I don't remember. I think that we executed like we had an open look, Akeem to tie it, just missed it. He made the one before. Reggie had just kind of rolled out. So I thought the execution was good, it just came up short.
Amir has started to develop a reputation this season of having his best games against some of your best opponents, Michigan State, Wisconsin. Is he a rare freshman where the moment just isn't too big for him?
Yeah, he never seems fazed by it at all. He's I said before, we've played 21 games. He looked like a freshman in maybe 2 of them. And that's not necessarily that he has to score, 20, 30 points, but he competes. He's poised. When it's time to make a big play, he can do it. Doesn't shy away from it. So I think he's going to be a very, very good one, a very special one. So it's exciting because he can only get better.
Is that the aspect of him that you've been most pleased or surprised with? Or has there been something else that really jumped out?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is?
You never know what you're going to get from a defensive standpoint with freshmen, just because it's just a whole nother level. He was well coached, obviously. You never know just from a focus standpoint. He's been really good with all that. So overall, he's checked every box as a special freshman. And, he's got a good rep, and he deserves that because he can be a really good player.
Do you think it helps his comfort level that he's home, he's got the local support, nothing's too unfamiliar around here for him, and that part of it is not really weighing on him at all?
No, I think it's pretty unfamiliar. Truthfully, I mean, he's not, he's not used to playing in front of thousands of people on national TV. Home, you make it sound so comfortable, like he's on the couch watching TV. This is intense stuff. I think he's comfortable because he's a really good player, and he's a tough kid.
Well, when you talk about Amir and just your newcomers, I know when you go through the first few Big Ten games, a lot of teams haven't seen them before, and then now, or apparently that you'll be playing for the first time. But have you noticed, Ohio State, Michigan State, some teams that have seen some of your newcomers before, or any of your team before, are they playing you differently?
No, not really. Everybody's going to adjust. They're going to play certain people differently the second time around. That's normal. I haven't noticed, maybe a sense of urgency to not let Akeem shoot the ball. Other than that, I haven't noticed a whole lot of a difference with the newcomers. Maybe going at Reggie, I'd say that's probably the biggest thing I've noticed. I mean, that's a clear thing that teams are trying to do. So he's got to adjust to it, and we've got to adjust to it.
What do you tell him where in the first 2 minutes of each half it seems like he's got every possession and some guard driving right at him?
It's not really guard. If you watch the Ohio, I don't know if it was on TV, if you were able to watch it, but the Thompson kept going after him, the big kid, right? And I think it's more of, they probably watched that Wisconsin game and said, okay, well, let's go at him. And he's got to find the balance between good defense without fouling. I know he's concerned with fouling, but we got to play good defense too now. Some of it's on him, some of it's on guards. Digging it out, making it difficult to get in there. So I think he understands that, and I think he'll get better from it.
Just going to ask you about that balance. Where do you feel like he's at now versus the beginning of the season in sort of understanding that concept?
Well, as you get into the season, it's back-to-back-to-back bigs coming at you, right? I mean, it's Ohio State. I think Thompson, he's one of the most improved bigs in the conference, if not the country. I mean, he could probably be an NBA player, or at least he looked like one the other day. Ethan Happ is terrific. Mike Watkins is a great freshman. Bridges and Ward are going to play in the NBA. So, he's getting tested, and that's why the Big Ten's a great league. And that's why all these covers are difficult. So we've got to do our best to help him. But I think the biggest thing is he's got to figure out how to do it effectively without fouling. Just because you don't foul doesn't mean it's good defense. So we're trying to teach him that.
And he played, we talk about fouls, but he played 34 minutes. And then I think a couple games ago, Penn State played 32 minutes. When he's out there, and he's maybe not, is he playing differently? You think maybe trying not to foul? And
I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Again, I think that's going to be an acquired skill for him. He's not used to going against so many good big guys. That's why I think he transferred to this level to try to prove himself to those guys. So we're not even halfway there. And that's why when Chad asked if there's a sense of urgency, no, there's not. I mean, we're not even halfway there. We'll be halfway there tomorrow. We've played 5 on the road, 3 at home. So there's a long way to go. And Reggie's had some good experiences versus some very good big men that are going to teach him a lot.
then outside scoring presence, and then where else can that come from if you're not maybe getting the most out of Jordan right now? I mean, are you trying to look more
I thought Jordan was really good last game. So
from Eric Curry?
we just get him from anyone on the court. I don't know. We want everyone to be a threat. There's not one. That's not really the way I coach. 5 guys offensively are options. So Eric didn't play much last game because he was sick. And he's feeling better. Murph kind of got it yesterday, so he didn't practice. So that's why I didn't play Eric much. It had nothing to do. He played, and then you could just tell he was gasping for air. So it wasn't necessarily his play that game was why he didn't play much.
Murphy should be fine for tomorrow.
Yeah, he should be fine. So, we had a short, quick practice. I don't think it's anything serious, just kind of a cold going through. Hopefully it doesn't spread too much.
Nate, kind of broke out. The percentage didn't really show it, but 21 points, and he made some key plays there second half, and then during that run in the first half. What did you notice?
No, he broke out. So I don't know what his percentage was, but he was pretty darn good on the court.
Right.
And
for 18, but yeah, 20.
it's pretty good, not bad. I thought he was terrific. Yeah, I thought he was really good, and we need that. But again, it's not all on him. It's we need him to be good. What did he finish with? How many points? 20, 21. Asking him to score 21 points in a league game, that's very, very challenging. But I thought he was darn good and made big shots when we needed him to make big shots. And I just think we did a lot of good towards the end of that game, that Ohio State game. Obviously, we did not start well. And when you go down 17, but we cut it to 5 pretty quickly. And really fought, had opportunities at the end of the game. Some things just didn't go our way, and that happens in sports. And you just got to look back and figure out what you can control and do better at.
Him and Akeem seem like they are sort of putting this team on their shoulders as far as leadership. I know Jordan would like to do that, but he's not maybe playing as consistently, and he's not as as vocal, or maybe he's not as old. How much of it do you look at Akeem and Nate kind of?
I looked at last game. I looked at last game and thought Jordan, Akeem, and Nate were trying to put the team on their back. I understand your point, but I thought Jordan was trying to do it too. I made the point that Jordan's not a great scorer. That does not mean he can't be a really good player. My point is he can do little things like he did last game to make some winning plays. So I thought physically Akeem, Jordan, and Nate were trying to do that. Now we need to get everybody else to try to do that. And, to win in this league, you're going to have close games. We're going to be in a lot of close games. And, it's just a play here, a play there that can make the difference. And, so we need everybody to physically and mentally be able to do that.
You look at the league, and Maryland obviously at the top, but there's, I think you're tied 5 other teams, 3 and 5. And,
Yeah.
You talked about it, the sense of urgency not being there, but it's near the midpoint of the Big Ten now. Teams are probably going to separate one way or the other. Do you kind of feel like that pretty soon here we're going to see some separation?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But again, I mean, I just look at, I sit back and I say, and I told my team this yesterday, we want to go to the NCAA tournament. I don't talk about it much. I don't talk about it much publicly. I don't get into that. But the expectations are to do that. But if my math is correct, I think only 19% of teams go to the NCAA tournament. So you're going to have to do things that are going to make you extremely uncomfortable to do it. And that was the message to the team. But after 21 games and 8 league games, in my opinion, 75% of the league would trade resumes with us. And we've played 5 road games. And we've probably played one of the toughest schedules in the league. So, yes, we're on a 4-game losing streak, but if you take a step back and you see the big picture, I think we're in pretty good shape. You know, I'm not sure what our RPI is today. I don't, you know, I didn't look at it today, but I think it's probably top 20. Is it? I don't know. You would know. 21, pretty good. And you got 6 home games and 4 on the road. You know, so we started. I remember my second year. You know, we had a bunch of games on the road. We started out 0-5. You know, and we were really swimming upstream there. We were able to beat 2 of the best teams in the league on the road. You know, so I like where we're at. You know, I thought versus Ohio State, thought we were pretty close. Last 2 minutes, a couple things didn't go our way. That happens. But I think we're playing pretty good basketball right now, and I think we're pretty close. So there's not a whole lot of panic going on right now.
Was that the first time you talked openly with your team about the NCAA tournament, or did you
No, just to you. No, we talk about it, but it's I didn't talk about it last year. Not much. No, I don't talk about it with you guys because it's cliche, but we're a one day at a time program. And again, it's cliche. You take care of today, and if you know all that other stuff will take care of itself. You know, but if you're 15-6 and you've got close to a top 20 RPI, and you're not talking NCAA tournament with your team, why are you doing this, right? I mean, why are you doing this? So we understand that we're in a great spot, but we also understand that we need to start winning too. So we do talk about it, but it's not a lot. But we do talk about it. But we just talk about taking care of the little things, taking care of what you can control. You know, I mean, it's extremely important. At Ohio State, we didn't necessarily take care of some of the things we could control. And, you know, some things we couldn't control happened. And that happens. You know, but you just got to do your best to take care of the things you can control.
take care of today doesn't make quite as good of a headline as let's go to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to help you because that's what I'm